Stupid internet. Aw, man. Hey guys, how's it going? This is a tutorial video on how to customize the appearance of your Mac computer. In this video, I'll go over the applications that you'll need to use to do this. As well, I'll supply a list of these applications down in the description below. So before I get started, I need to talk about updating your computer, because updating your computer to the latest version of the operating system may affect how much you're actually able to customize. For example, if you're running Mountain Lion, you'll no longer be able to update the appearance of the dock anymore. If you're running before Mountain Lion, as far as I know, you'll still be able to customize just about everything to do with the Mac's appearance. Started, I'll first go over Candybar. Candybar is this application right here. Candybar is an application which is used for changing the appearance of icons, such as folders, hard drive, to applications. Within Candybar, it's separated into 4 subcategories: system icons, application icons, dock appearance, and volume icons. For the most part, volume icons won't be used all that often, unless you have multiple hard drives which are going to be permanent in your computer and you want to change the appearance of each of those hard drive icons. As for dock appearance, again, if you're running Mountain Lion, you'll no longer be able to change this. So for the most part, you'll only be using application and system icons. For system icons, it contains what you would expect. Anything to do with folders, dock items, sidebars, network icons, and device icons, and so forth. Applications, all of the application icons. Some of these cannot be changed though, as you can see with this lock icon here. That means that you will not be able to update the appearance of that icon image. As well, you won't be able to change the appearance of the calendar icon itself, only because even as the calendar is closed, the number on the front changes every day, which means that it is constantly changing. So as far as I'm aware, you are not able to change the appearance of the calendar icon. Now, to get these icon images, you can search across the internet and find them just about anywhere. I'll post a link down in the description below to a few sites which I use to obtain my icons. One of them, which is very popular, is Google Images. Google Images has just about any kind of icon you can think of, and that's where I get most of my icons from. Now, before you put images into Candybar, you need to make them .icns files. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to search through Google Images or wherever and find stuff that is only .icns. You can find other file types, which is where the application image to icons comes in. And I'll show you an example of how all of this works. So I'll start by changing the appearance of the dictionary icon. So I'll open up Safari, go into Images, type in dictionary icon, and say I want an orange one, and I'll take that one right there. So I'll drag that onto my desktop, and then I'll go up here and open up Image to Icons. Now, this application is very easy to use. You just drag the image in here, then it'll give you a few options to use. You'll notice for some images that you find, you may need to use a little bit of editing, which you can use any photo editing software such as Adobe Photoshop or Pixelmator or any other such applications. From here, all you need to do, click Icons, Desktop, then there it is, the .icns file. So now you can close this down, find the dictionary application icon, click and drag this, and then it'll replace it. But it won't actually change it until you say apply icons. Then it'll ask for your password, finish changing icons, ask for a relaunch of the dock, and then that's it. Now, as well, this isn't permanent. You can click and drag that off and it'll disappear, and then it'll ask you to apply icons again. Ask to relaunch dock, and then it's back to normal. As well, you have the restore icons button, which will just do an entire restore of the icons throughout the computer. That way you don't need to do them one by one. Another thing to be aware of is whenever you update certain icon images, some of them may not appear whenever they finish. They may appear like this. This means that either the image format is incorrect or Candybar doesn't like the file that you've supplied it. Most of the time I find that this occurs with the Finder icon. There may be a few others that you'll notice, in which I would recommend finding another icon file type in its place. So the next application I'll talk about is Geektool. Geektool is how I obtain all of these features in the background here, which aren't selectable. They just run completely in the background, and they can be changed in various ways. So I'll open Geektool, and this is Geektool here, and as you can see, there's what's known as geeklets, where there's file, image, and shell. Each of these can be clicked and dragged onto your desktop, and you can create certain functions or commands which are taken from your computer through here. So as you can see in the left hand corner, all of these are individual shell geeklets which have commands within them, as you can see here. And whenever you insert these commands, you can change the font, colors, the alignments, positions, the amount of refresh time, how often the refresh rate is for that particular geeklet, and as well you can there's an entire variety of commands that you can put in here, anything from the date, time, calendars, as well you can grab information to do with your CPU or IP address and such. There's also the image geeklet, which is the one being used up here. This image geeklet actually contains an image file which is located somewhere on my computer, and I have supplied a URL in the command pane in order to give it that image. Now that doesn't actually supply the weather icon on top of that. I will get to that later. That is part of another application. So within Geektool, if you go into the command, you can type in various commands in order to give it certain functions, which I will supply a link down in the description below for Geektool commands that you can use, and those will be a few examples. So for this, I will put in this command here, which should give me the time as well as the AM or PM. As you can see, it's really small, but it's there, and this is where you can change the size as well as the different font types, and as well you can change the color of it. And that's all there is to it. And so it's fairly easy to use as long as you don't go into any of this other stuff, unless you're really experienced with the application and you know what you're doing. All you really need to worry about is using the commands, the refresh rate, and changing the colors. Other than that, it's a fairly easy to use application. One thing to note about Geektool is for the calendar function. The calendar is very picky on the font types. For some reason, it only operates on certain font types. Otherwise, the calendar becomes really strange looking, where the dates will not line up with the days of the week. So, for example, this one would be over on Monday, and there would be other days missing. So you'll have to play around with the fonts on the calendar in order to see which ones work and then which ones don't. As well, another issue you may come across with Geektool is whenever you've initiated the Open at Login feature. After you've turned your computer off and back on, or logged off and logged back on, you may notice that none of your Geektool items have actually appeared. To fix this, all you have to do is open up Geektool and click and drag anything. You don't have to put it onto your desktop or create anything or touch any buttons. You just have to click and drag to make this geeklet appear, let go, and all of these will start appearing one by one. And that's how you fix that. The next application I'll talk about is the QuickWeather Mini application, which is this one here, which I mentioned earlier. Geektool has the ability to bring up weather information through commands, but I found that it wasn't as appealing, and it also didn't function the way that I wanted it to. So instead I resorted to an application to do this. The only downside is it is selectable. So it's not a complete in the background application. It does run on the surface of the desktop itself. But the good thing is you can select it and it can give you much more information than the Geektool command would. As well, within QuickWeather Mini, you can change anything from the location that it covers to the units it uses and also the refresh rate. There's many alternatives to QuickWeather Mini. You can find them in the App Store or other websites, and as well there's many applications like QuickWeather Mini, so you can find applications that can display iTunes information on your desktop and iTunes artwork or anything of that nature. The last application that I'll cover is an application called Nocturne, which is how you get your menu bar at the top of your screen to look a black color. So how Nocturne works, instead of actually just making the menu bar black, it inverses the colors within the menu bar. So if you have any other applications open where there's an icon up in the menu bar, you'll notice that the colors will look a little funny. And that's because it's inverse the colors rather than just change the menu bar itself to becoming black. Nocturne as well, it doesn't only change the menu bar to look black, it's actually used to change various aspects of your computer, whether or not you're using it during the night or during the day. So you can do things like invert the screen, hide the desktop, disable shadows, and all the other features that it has as well. One thing to note about Nocturne, there's a problem when you enter full screen applications. You'll notice something a little like this, where your menu bar kind of disappears at the top of the screen, and then whenever you leave full screen, your menu bar seems to be just gone completely. Now a fix around this, quit Nocturne, then open Nocturne back up, and it's back to normal. As far as I know, this must be an issue due to the full screen operations of the Lion interface, and there hasn't been any other fix that I've seen for this other than just quitting it and opening it back up. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. These are all the customization features that I have on my Mac computer that you can now apply to yours. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Please make sure to check out my other videos, and thanks for watching.